for next week?
Sure.
Yeah, because that's enough to work on. I think you'll have a lot of fun kind of trying some of that out. But there was, I would like to show you some safety shots in 8-ball. Are you interested in hearing?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's do that. This is really kind of a nuanced part of the game, but it's really important because these kind of shots come up all the time. Look at 3 here, and a bunch of stripes. All right, and let's kind of turn this into a challenge, okay? What we would do, let's say, let's put the 14 over there. Let's say that you have solids.
Really? That's
at this point.
I want it actually.
Okay, you can make the 3-ball pretty easily, but to actually run out is pretty slim and none, isn't it? Because of the 5-ball is completely tied up, isn't it? So what would be the best solution, maybe to make a ball and then play safe? This would be a situation where I think I would try to make the 3-ball and then play a safety afterwards. Now, when you play a safety, there's 3 objectives. Number 1, sometimes you want to leave great distance. Number 2 on a safety is you want to hook your opponent so they can't see one of their object balls. And number 3 is you want to improve your situation somehow. Those are the 3 objectives of playing safe. So if I was actually had this shot in a real game, I would think to myself, well, I could make that 3 pretty easy. But you know what? If I roll down here and I shoot the 5 and make my opponent's 13, I can leave the cue ball stuck right behind the 1. So my opponent won't have any shot, and I can maybe get ball in hand.
Yep.
So let's see how it works out. I'll go ahead and make the 3. And then I'm going to play, I'll call safety. Look what I just did to these stripes. Stripes is all of a sudden, he's got to play a trick shot to even make a good hit on his ball. And if he does not make a good hit on his ball, you get ball in hand and look at the shots you have that are pretty easy. You can play the 1-5 combination and maybe win the game. That's an example of a good safety where I actually hook my opponent, but I also improve my position. Because before I couldn't make the 5 and now I can. Now I got to make a good hit on the 15 ball. So I'm simply going to lay my cue. We call this the midpoint system. Now what I want to do from here is I lay the cue across the table like this. Now in order to find the midpoint between the cue ball and the 15 ball, that'll tell me where I need to hit on the rail to make contact. So I'll leave the tip of the cue stick on where the diamonds are over there and swing it over to the midpoint between the cue ball and the 15, which would be right there. Now, in order to find the track that the 15 ball's on, I would simply hit this cue ball on a parallel line. So I'll lift my cue up to here, to there. That's the spotting. You see how I did that? Lay it across here, keep the tip on the rail, swing it to the midpoint, which will be right there. Now hit the cue ball on a parallel line. So if I go right at that chalk, it should take me right into the 15. You get the idea. And again, that's very accurate. Instead of trying to figure out all the numbers on that, that's a lot simpler. So next time you get that shot, try that. Good question. That's a little
Is it legal
vague.
to, is it legal to put your chalk down to aim at?
No, it's definitely not legal, but I thought that would be some, when you're practicing shots like that, you can do that.
It's also not legal to chalk your stick and then mark the table.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a no-no.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, one more safety shot, and this actually happened to Prescott Tom last night, and I guess I wasn't really happy with his choice on what he did because he did end up winning the game, but I felt like he could have won it a lot easier. All right. And this is an example of another safety. There were other balls on the table. But he was in a position like this. And I think the cue ball was about like there. And he had solids. All right? Now he did something else, but what do you think would be the best thing to do in a situation like this? He had solids and he really can't make any of his balls, so how would he play safety?
Hit your ball with the 15 in.
Okay. All right. The ideal shot here is exactly what Michelle says. You want to make your opponent's ball and try to get the cue ball aligned somewhere here. So our opponent's completely hooked. And it does all three things. It snookers your opponent. It gives him distance to make a good hit. And it also improves your position because it opens up your one ball. So in a situation like this, I would make my opponent's ball. I might use a little bit of left English. You notice I had the cue ball come over here a little bit. Now my opponent has an extremely tough shot, hooked on the 8 ball. So sometimes it's actually to your advantage to make your opponent's ball. Now, you see any shots from here? I know Michelle's going to ask me that, right? Now, I would be too afraid of hitting the 5 ball. So what I might try is call the 8 in the side pocket. Now, what I'm thinking is that I'll go into the rail right here, come back, and hit the 8 pretty straight on, so the 8 caroms off the 5. And if you look at the tangent line, the 8, if it hits just right on the 5 ball, will go in the side pocket. So actually, this is not a horrible shot, it's not easy, but I'm going to go into the rail and try to hit the 8 really square.
Ooh.
That would be a fun shot to make him lead, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right. All right.